Hi and welcome to my studio. Today we're working on our recycled Christmas card Christmas trees. We're going to use a little bit of yarn and these go really fast, so they're great and inexpensive to make. This is our Christmas tree ornament and we're using recycled Christmas cards, and that's what's so great and awesome about these. And if you crochet, this will go real fast. There's a lot of crochet videos out there that teach you. I'm not going to go into basics. I'm just going to show you how I did this little guy. And we want to start with a Christmas card, and we want one that runs this way. Don't get stuck in just thinking Christmas colors. I think this would be really, really cute. And do this in blue, maybe even yellow, white. Even the Christmas colors around it, you know, would be okay. That would be okay too. So just think outside the box. There's so many kinds of yarns that you could use for this. Even different fun yarns you could do. The fun fur, you know, as ones like that. I picked up a lot of these in thrift stores. This was one of my favorite with this little bit of sparkle into it. Don't do the fun fur until you're comfortable with crocheting this pattern, because it can be a little bit hard to see. So we're going to use a basic crochet yarn this year. Walmart started carrying the Christmas one. They call it mistletoe recently. So we're going to use that, and I'm going to use a number 5 because that's what this yarn tells me to use. So use whatever yarn, whatever crochet hook they tell you to use. But what we're going to do is we're going to divide this guy in half. Now this guy has the Merry Christmas right there, and I'm going to see what is actually halfway for him, and I'm going to mark it, and then I'm just going to divide it. I'm not going to fold it in half. My first one I folded in half, and I did not like that at all. You want to see that fold, you know, when you're just cutting it in half. We'd rather do this. So mark it and then take it from corner up to corner up, and that's also going to kind of let you know what's going to show up in your design and what's not going to show up in your design. And if it's not exactly perfect, that's okay too. We just want to get that cut. I'm also doing both sides, and if there was a Christmas message that was down further and you wanted to see it, or Aunt Sally, you know, signed it or something and you want to see that, then put that on the back. But we want the double width. That's going to help make it secure. Now, if this didn't have the Merry Christmas, obviously I'd run that all the way up to the top, and that'd be easier to do than bringing that down a bit. But there's no right or wrong to that. Now, my holes I found out for the yarn and everything I was doing, I liked them about 3/4 of an inch apart. And we want them far enough apart that we have some of it showing, but we also want to make sure we have probably at least 1/4 of an inch in so these don't pull out. But the one up on top, I'm going to put in first because we're needed a little bit more secure than our others. We want to make sure that we kind of have that in there. We're going to get a little bit closer to the edges than the rest of them will be, and that's okay. So I got that guy in there. This is just a regular hole punch. Don't worry about getting a special kind or anything like that, just the regular size. So I'm going to move this about 1/4 of an inch out now, and I'm going to measure them, and we're going to do these, like I said, every about 3/4 here. So I did get my marker here so I can see these, and I just want to make sure, and we're going to have to be careful when we get down to the bottom here. We're going to want to make sure that we've got it near the corner and that we can round that corner. So you might have to adjust a little bit on this very edge here. And I'm going to put one there because I want my corner to go well, and then I'm going to kind of even that there. So it's not bad, but you do have to adjust for the size of each of your corners. So I'm going to do this one the same way, and then I'm going to bring it across as well when I'm done. I am going to show you a little bit of a shortcut. So when we have that side cut, you can flip over and you see the holes so that you can mark those there and then have that done, and then you can flip it back and punch them and you'll have them in the exact same spots. I did jump down one size of my crochet hook because I thought it would fit through that just a little bit easier. So I'm going to tie off here, and I'm going to start at the base. I'm going to come back right about there because we're going to tell you how to put the tree trunk on. Now you can make these double-sided. You don't have to have one side not be that way. If you're going to put them on a tree, you'd rather have them that hang out, that's fine, but you can do them double-sided if you have a couple of designs that you like. There is no right or wrong on that. So I am going to pull this through. This first one, I'm going to run it up 3, 2 or 3, depending on how you believe a double crochet should be. And I am going to double crochet. In my others, I did 5, but we're going to see how big this yarn is because each yarn is going to kind of be different. But you want them touching from side to side. And what I mean is, so when I start this one here, this one should touch. So let's go to the next hole. And 5 looks pretty good. And then we're going to get up to our corners, and we'll talk about our corners. 3. You don't want to have so many in it though that it's ruffling up. You want it to lay pretty flat. Now when we get to this corner piece here, because you're actually going to have this side and this side, so we want to try and double it up. I want to kind of do 5 on this side and 5 on that side in the same hole before we go continue. So 3, 4, try not to bend your card, 5 on that side, then we'll jump around and go 5 on this other side. And then you should get that turn, and it should be really good. And we're going to continue working all the way up. I'm going to come back in at the top, and we're going to put in a hanger, so we'll talk about that when we get to there. But I'm just going to continue working, putting 5 double crochets in each hole. So I've gone all the way up to the top, but I want to kind of talk to you a little bit. I think this one I actually could have done 4 in each of those. I think that's kind of starting to bunch a little bit. So on the bigger material yarn, you might just want to do 4. That's up to you. Kind of see how it looks, but there is no slip stitch between those. You're just doing double crochets from one to the other. So now I've done 5 in this guy. So you're going to chain, and you're going to just chain up as many as you want to make your hook or your hanger. And if you figure out like you like 30 or 40, I noticed that mine were actually kind of small. We need them a little bit bigger if they're going to hang on something. If they're not, you may want them a little bit smaller. I think that's pretty good right there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come through this first one right there, and I'm going to come in the top of that last double crochet right there, and I'm going to do just a slip stitch, and then I'm going to do 5 double crochets, sorry about that, on this side, and then I'm just going to keep working my way down that side, and try not to twist these so that those will hang straight. and we'll finish this up. So I'm crocheting over this tail right here, and one of the things I know I forgot to mention when we were punching the holes is we want to make sure that we have a middle one here. So if you want to get these two and then get those and then kind of see how that fits in and adjust it there, we want to make sure that we have that center hole. So we're just covering up this guy. And I also wanted to talk to you about Christmas cards. Maybe you haven't saved your Christmas cards and don't have that many or don't like the ones you have. A great place to find some of the Christmas cards is at thrift stores, because they'll put together a variety pack. And sometimes the older ones, and I love the older ones, they just have so much more personality and a lot of drawn things on them. So that's a suggestion. And also you might check your dollar stores, because they will have a pack of cards so that you can get those rather inexpensively, or if there might be some ones that you might like that are individual cards and you could afford to do them there that way. So I've got almost my last one in here, my 5, and I need to move this guy down so it doesn't show. So we can move him down. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip stitch in our very first double crochet at the top. And I'm going to come up and do chain 3. And then I'm going to do a double crochet in the next one over. So we're going to do 5 double crochets. And I missed that first one here. Exactly that we did here. So 2, 3, and we're making our trunk for 5. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to flip it. We're going to do, and you may do 2, you may do 3. That's kind of a personal opinion, I really think. And we're going to come again on that second row on the top of each of those double crocheted, and then that last one that we changed up, we're going to get in it and do our last double crochet. And we're just going to end this, and I'm going to try and keep that green because we've got green there and we don't want it to look too funny when we run this color back in. So we're just going to weave that tail back in. I'm just going to pull it in and out of my top of my crochets here, my double crochets. And I know I'm not getting all the technical crochet terms. I've always crocheted, but I had never learned from anybody. I just did it. And tie that off. If you want to put a little bit of glue to hold that down, you can. And that is the basic pattern. I come back in and I like to glue like a little poinsettia. You may want like a little star. And I think this would be beautiful with some white or silver fun fur. So there's a lot of fun things we can do with that. But on this one, I thought it would be even cute to add some little ornaments along the edges. So these are some little wooden snowflakes that we have at miriamjoy.com, and we've also got some really cute snowflake cabochons that I thought would make really cute on that. But just some different ideas that you can use and just change it up each time and make it your own. Well, I hope you really enjoyed that. Once you get the hang of it, these would be really fast to make up. I think this would be a wonderful little thing to take to the seniors at the care center, because so many of them don't have people or family. Then something so simple could mean so much. Thank you from Miriam Joy. Have a Merry Christmas.